Okay, I got the newest updates from Greg the Uber driver, and I am posting I'm posting a screenshot with his Venmo just in case you appreciate these updates we're getting from Florida from the ground from Greg the Uber driver. So if you feel compelled, go ahead and drop a donation to Greg the Uber driver. Y'all, here are the videos and have a good one.
Hello, it's Greg the Uber driver. Today is Saturday, July 15th. It's about 7:30 p.m. Just an update on the general economic situation that I'm experiencing and hearing about here in Florida. In general, Florida overall is slow. All of my TikTok followers, people that report things out all over Florida, be it Orlando, be it Tampa, be it St. Pete, be it Disney, be it Universal, be it Daytona, wherever they're reporting from, they're all telling me it's significantly slower than it should be for July. Okay, people, yes, we all know it's summer. For those of you all want to try to tell me it's summer, that's why it's slow. We all know it's summer. I've lived here 32 years. I know. For example, for me in Uber, I've been doing Uber 4 years. I've done 23,000 rides. I know what my normal July is. My July is 50% off from July of the last 2 years. My June was 45% off from the last 2 Junes. My May was 30 to 35% depending where the last 3 Mays. Okay, it's all because of DeSantis and the boycotts and the bans and the other people just not coming because they don't like DeSantis. You may not like the facts, but those are the facts. Those are the facts. And specifically here, I've taken several people to several of the restaurants and hotels today. Sushi Song is a sushi restaurant, needless to say, in downtown Fort Lauderdale. They're about 50% off from where they normally should be. IT Italy, the same thing. They're off significantly. They're on Las Olas. Sushi Song is not far off Las Olas, in a very busy spot with both of them. And also my waitress that I've taken to Carrabba's a couple times, and she's telling me she's still doing 1/3 the business that she was doing 4 or 5 weeks ago. She was doing $1,500 a day in sales, and her sales for her shift is $500 now. So again, it's off significantly. Took a manager again to the Ritz-Carlton. Ritz-Carlton is way, they're well under 30%. They shouldn't be at 30%. All the hotels, typically in South Florida, this time of year, are in the 55 to 65% range. They should not be in the 20s and 30s. That is not normal. That is not normal for this time of year. They are empty. They are letting people, they're reducing everybody's hours. Some are letting people go. The Ritz-Carlton specifically, they have been shipping managers to other Ritz-Carlton hotels around the country that are busy. They reduce staff time, and the managers here, they've basically been flying them out for a couple weeks at the time and going to different other Ritz-Carltons that need help, that are busier because the people are in vacationing in other places. They're just not vacationing here. So that's another big factor in all this. Another big factor, another report, 2 things also that are out this week. There was a CNBC article that I've already talked about that indicated that it was the 10 worst places to work and live in the United States. Florida was number 10 on this. And they were looking at the conditions for the people, personal situations for people. They were looking at voting rights. They were looking at health care. They were looking at child care. They were looking at inclusiveness. And Florida is, of the 10 worst, Florida was 10th, which means Florida is 40th. 40 out of 50. Not a good statistic. North Carolina was number 1. Imagine that. And I'm from North Carolina. Another big statistic that came out this week, this is another huge factor in a lot of things going on here in Florida, and only showing that the governor is doing the wrong thing, is another report came out to show that the highest inflation in all the United States is in Florida. It's here in South Florida and in the Tampa St. Pete area. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm was the highest inflation rate in the country, over 9%, and that was predominantly because of the high cost of housing and the high cost of insurance, which goes in housing. Our insurance costs here are 4 times the national average. All right, so another thing is, part of that is supply and demand because we've had so many people move in. So if you have that, you need to build more buildings, you need to build more apartments and condos. Well, guess what? Guess what? Bill was passed, SB 1718, that drove all the workers out. that were building the construction projects, that were building these big buildings, and guess what? There are no workers to build these buildings. So if we're at 9% now, can you only imagine what we're going to be? It's going to escalate even more, because these projects I ride around in video, they've got a few workers on them. They don't have the 60, 80, 100 workers that were once here, because they're not here. So Governor DeSantis has driven the workers out by this policy, and now housing prices are going to get even worse, because the projects that were online are not being built, and there are more projects scheduled to be built, and there's no workers to build them. Labor was scarce before, and that was another factor too in the best and worst places to live, was availability of labor. And Florida's availability is even worse. They just drove up to 10% of the workforce out of the market. So they're doing all the wrong things. And on insurance, they're not doing anything to reduce the prices of insurance, bring it down. And Farmers Insurance again announced this week that they were leaving. They have 100,000 policy owners in Florida. They're going to rewrite those policies when those policies expire. That's it. They'll have to find other insurance. And insurance is out of control. And the next thing about insurance, there are well over 100 to 200,000 claims in the Fort Myers, Naples area from Hurricane Ian from a year ago that still have not been settled. And the governor and the legislature passed another law with the insurance companies supposedly making it where more insurance companies are coming to Florida, and they've only been leaving. But they've made it more difficult for people to get their claims paid, and they're not getting their claims paid, and nothing's being dealt with on that. So those are some of the things that we're seeing right now in Florida. I'm at 6.5 minutes and I need to stop. That's kind of where we are today. It's not a good place to be. And the other thing is, I will say, I have had a number of people ask for my Venmo, and they asked me to put a Venmo on my profile. It's on there. I've had people that have been gifting me money. I appreciate that very much. More than you possibly know, because my income is down 50% from where it normally would be the last number of weeks now, almost 2 months now, I guess. And it's greatly appreciated. So that's kind of it. I'll try to keep the updates coming. I'll try to get video, try to do all the other stuff, and I need to go drive now and go make some money, because I have bills to pay, and the bills don't go down. Certainly not here in South Florida. They only go up. Not with the inflation we've got under Governor DeSantis. Thank you, Governor DeSantis. You are such a great governor. We are so lucky to have you. I'm glad. I am never, ever, ever sarcastic. He's not the best governor. He's the worst governor. Of all the 50 governors, he's got to be the worst. Thank you. Hello, it's Greg, the Uber driver. Today is Sunday, July 16th. It's around 5:30 p.m. And just in case you did not hear this, another part of SB 1718, the anti-immigration bill passed by the Republican legislature and signed by Governor DeSantis and championed by Governor DeSantis, there is a little provision about out-of-state driver's license. If you are a resident and have a driver's license from Delaware, Connecticut, Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Vermont, if you are stopped by an officer in Florida, they can issue you a ticket, and you have to pay a fine for driving on what they consider an invalid driver's license. Now, why have they done this? And is this a wise move to help a state that is heavily dependent upon tourists for part of its income? Very, very, very ignorant decision to make for states that need other states to come to their state for tourism. And also, we probably got snowbirds from those states that come down here and spend part of the year, since they are in New England. And now they can potentially be fined for driving on an out-of-state driver's license that is considered invalid. Now, why is it considered invalid? The reason they've considered these invalid is because these states also will issue driver's license to undocumented residents, which, if you think about it, would you like people to be licensed and be documented, or not be documented that they can drive a car and have ID? So what makes better sense? Obviously, you know what makes better sense, to have people licensed to drive vehicles versus not licensed, because guess what? They will probably drive not being licensed, and obviously that's not a good thing. So this is not a very smart thing to do, and it's going to continue to hurt tourism. And just another bit of fallout from our dear governor. There we have it, another bright thing from the legislature. Oh, and by the way, this law is being challenged currently in the courts, and it will probably be struck down. I don't think they can do what they've done here. I don't think it'll hold up from my limited understanding, but we'll see. Thank you very much. Hello, it's Greg, the Uber driver. Today is Saturday, July 15th, and I want to do a shout out to Congressman Matt Gaetz of the 1st District of Florida, and also to his Republican colleagues that are chairing the House Ethics Committee. It has been announced that now the House Ethics Committee, that is now controlled by the Republicans, has started a ethics investigation into Congressman Matt Gaetz. This is controlled by the Republicans, not the Democrats. This has quietly started a number of months ago. It was reported in the news today. Among the various items that they are investigating are potential sexual misconduct, potential illicit drug use, that the congressman violated sex trafficking laws, that we've all heard about that particular one, that the congressman shared inappropriate messages and photos on the House floor, that the congressman converted campaign funds into personal use, that the congressman accepted a bribe, and I don't know whether they're investigating or not the $480,000 PPP loan that he took out for a company, and that he also got forgiven. And as you know, Congressman Gaetz voted against forgiving up to $10,000 in student loans for students, but his PPP loan, Paycheck Protection Plan, as he is a congressman, not sure why he needed to get this, for $480,000 was forgiven, I believe, in April of 2020. So there we have it. So that's the latest on Matt Gaetz. We'll see where it goes. But again, it is controlled by Republicans, not by Democrats. And they seem to think there is something there. Usually when there's smoke, there's fire. So we'll have to stay tuned, and I'll report it as I hear it and as I see it in the news and as I talk to other people. Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you for your continued support on TikTok. I appreciate it in every way that you can support me. Share my information, educate others, and help me pass the word along. Thank you.